Hey everybody, this is TotalGamerJunkie. I want to welcome you all back to my channel. So I want to give a shout out to X user Kino, who posted on X the Singapore ESBR rating for Life is Strange Double Exposure. Now I had a look over this a while ago, but I haven't had time to make the video until now. But there's a few things that I find interesting. Now some of it is the same stuff I discussed in a previous video, which I'll leave in the description below, where I go over the ESRB rating in English and the Brazilian translation. So check that video in the description below, and I'll also leave the link to the Singapore ESRB rating if you'd rather jump ahead into it and look at it yourselves instead of listening to me go over it and discuss my thoughts. Alright, so I'm going to start from the beginning and then we're going to discuss it. The protagonist has the option to kiss another woman, and doing so results in a cutscene of the pair kissing each other. There is also a transgender woman character who is shown with her wife in a photo and talks about her experience of being discriminated, along with other sexual references and innuendos. Overall, such portrayals are appropriate under the M18 rating, where the classification guidelines allow the depiction of some homosexual content if discreet in treatment and not gratuitous. The game also contains use of the expletives mother effer and F, as well as crude language such as shit, damn, and a-hole. Under the M18 classification guidelines, frequent use of strong coarse language is permitted. There is a scene where the protagonist can choose to smoke a joint, while other scenes include drug references. The M18 classification guidelines state that there may be realistic depiction of drug or psychotic substance abuse. It does not promote abuse. There are some depictions of violence with moderate details. These include scenes where a character gets shot in the shoulder with some blood-stained scene, a character who relives a past trauma of being forcibly restrained on a chair, and another who disintegrates in flashes of light. There is also a stylized graphic of a headless man holding a bucket with a decapitated head in it. Alright, so let's go over, to me, what is the most interesting part of this. A character who relives a past trauma of being forcibly restrained in a chair, and another who disintegrates in flashes of light. So we know that the first part, this character is going to be Max. She's going to be restrained in a chair. But what could it be? If there's a theory that in one of the scenes for the Welcome to Calderon trailer, the clock that you see in the trailer is the same one from Mark Jefferson's classroom. And the theory goes that Max, her powers could be jumping back in time and creating these new realities back in time, and she could be in the dark room again. Or perhaps, I think it could much be something as simple as the detective arrests Max and handcuffs her to a chair, and like the reason is maybe because he doesn't want her to leave the room, because like he's placing her under arrest and some inconvenience is preventing him from taking Max to the station. I don't know, but the dark room, that'd be more traumatic. But I think Max just being handcuffed to something like a chair or maybe a door handle or something, whatever, like a desk, I think that makes more sense to me. But what doesn't make sense is who disintegrates in flashes of light. Now, if the leaks are true and the killer does have powers, could this power be that they disintegrate in flashes of light? For example, they're traveling between timelines, because we don't know exactly what happens when Max switches timelines. Is it like in Life is Strange 1 where whenever Max travels back in time, her body is put on autopilot and auto Max, if you will, and then Max jumps into her body from the moment she left? So could it be something like that, perhaps? But rather this person with powers is able to break down their body at a subatomic level in one timeline and then rebuild it in the other timeline. I know it sounds silly, but you know, I'm just trying to figure out what this means here. We then get there is also a stylized graphic of a headless man holding a bucket with a decapitated head in it. Now this makes me think of episode 2 of Life is Strange 1, where if you tell Principal Wells Nathan had a gun, Max will return to her room after her shower and she'll see that there's a photo of her. Her eyes are crossed out with X's, and her head is on a platter. So I think this could be what that is, rather than a full-on head cut-off mutilation type thing. Which, in a previous video I made for the Brazilian ESRB, it mentioned that there would be mutilation. So maybe instead of like a photo, an edited photo and whatnot, it could be an actual photo of someone's head cut off. This could maybe be, if you remember where Max and Moses are looking in that dark room and Max appears to be on the computer, maybe that's where we'll see the decapitated head. But let's talk about some other stuff now. The protagonist has the option to kiss another woman, and in doing so results in a cutscene of the pair kissing each other. Now obviously this is Amanda, or it could very well be Chloe, because it mentions another woman, so clearly there's more than one woman, because if we sacrifice Chloe, we see from the gameplay footage Max can tell Sophie that her and Chloe were just friends or high school sweethearts. And obviously if Chloe's alive, Max is going to say, okay, we're best friends or we're lovers. So that's Chloe, well not Chloe, Amanda would be the other woman. Now I'm interested to find out how this is going to work, because we know that if Max is in a relationship with Chloe, clearly she can't pursue one with Amanda, because I don't see that, like, they could do that. Deck 9 could have a scenario where Max would cheat on Chloe, but for me that'd be completely out of character after all the shit they went through in Arcadia Bay, so I don't see it happening. But if they give players that option, I gotta tell you, Deck 9, especially the people who would make that choice, got some pretty big balls on them. And speaking of balls, there is also a transgender woman character who is shown with her wife in a photo and talks about her experiences of being discriminated, along with other sexual references and innuendos. Now, this is actually, it wasn't in Life is Strange, but Don't Nod did this game, Tell Me Why, and I think they handled a transgender character pretty well, because you play as twin characters, one of them's trans, and I enjoyed it. I thought the writing was pretty good. It wasn't totally in your face. It was like, okay, that's just who this person is. Tyler, I think his name is. So I was like, okay. But I did hate the puzzles in that, let me tell you, that they were a bitch to do. But yes, if Deck 9 can handle this the way Don't Nod did with Tell Me Why, then I'm all for it. Now, I mentioned this before in the previous ESBR rating video I made. Mofo, F, shit, damn, a-hole, you know, that was already covered. Because we know, every game, these swear words are going to be in it, so there's nothing really to cover. But this one here is slightly different. There is a scene where the protagonist can choose to smoke a joint. Because originally in the ESRB rating, there's a scene where characters are smoking a joint. But this, it says the protagonist can choose to smoke a joint. So I'm like, yeah, definitely my Max, if she sacrifices, because I'm going to be doing multiple playthroughs, obviously. But in the one where she and Chloe are more than friends and Max sacrificed her, my Max is going to have the little blue streak in her hair, and she'll definitely be smoking a joint. Well, that's really all I wanted to talk about in this video. I do hope you all enjoyed it, and be sure to check the links below for the other ESRB video I made, as well as the link to this site where I found the ESRB rating. Thanks again, Kino. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. This is TotalGamerJunkie, signing off.